Top 10 creepiest unsolved mysteries. Intriguing cases that still baffle investigators today. The world is full of strange, unsettling events that seem to defy logical explanation.
Despite the advances in forensic science and investigative techniques, some mysteries remain unsolved, leaving us with more questions than answers.
These creepy cases have captured the public's imagination and left investigators scratching their heads. Here are the top 10 creepiest unsolved mysteries that continue to baffle investigators to this day. 1.
The disappearance of the Beaumont Children. Date: January 26, 1966. Location: Glenelg Beach, Adelaide, Australia. On a warm summer day in 1966, three siblings, Jane, Anna, and Grant Beaumont, left their home to visit Glenelg Beach, just a few miles away. The Beaumont children were known to frequently visit the beach alone, so their mother didn't worry when they left early that morning. However, when they didn't return home by the afternoon, their mother grew concerned and reported them missing. Despite one of the largest searches in Australian history, no trace of the children has ever been found.
Witnesses reported seeing the children with a tall, thin man near the beach, but he was never identified.
The case sparked a media frenzy and remains one of Australia's most enduring unsolved mysteries. More than 50 years later, the question remains: what happened to the Beaumont children? 50 years later, investigators and the public alike are still haunted by the disappearance of the Beaumont children. Several suspects have emerged over the years, including a known child abductor and a suspected serial killer, but no evidence has definitively linked anyone to the crime. The case remains unsolved, leaving behind grieving parents and a nation desperate for answers. What really happened that day at Glenelg Beach?
Was it a calculated abduction, or did the children fall victim to something else entirely?
We may never know. 2. The Dyatlov Pass Incident. Date: February 1959. Location: Ural Mountains. Russian inexperienced hikers set off for a trek in the Ural Mountains, but never made it back. Their bodies were discovered scattered across the snow, some with gruesome injuries that defied explanation. The official cause of death was listed as hypothermia, but several hikers had bizarre injuries: skull fractures, chest injuries consistent with a car crash, and one woman missing her tongue and eyes. Investigators were baffled by the strange circumstances surrounding their deaths.
The hikers' tent had been cut open from the inside, and their bodies were found barefoot and underdressed, suggesting they had fled in a panic.
Over the years, theories have ranged from an avalanche to secret military tests to extraterrestrial encounters, but no definitive answers have ever emerged. 3. The Hinterkaifeck Murders. Date: March 31st, 1992. Location: Bavaria, Germany. The Hinterkaifeck Murders are one of the most gruesome and puzzling unsolved crimes in German history.
A family of 6 was brutally murdered on their remote farm in Bavaria.
The victims included Andreas and Celia Gruber, their daughter Victoria, Victoria's 2 children, and the family maid, who had only recently started working at the farm. What makes the case even more chilling is the fact that the killer stayed in the house for several days after the murders, feeding the animals and living among the bodies. Despite extensive investigations and numerous suspects, the murderer was never caught, and the case remains unsolved to this day. 4. The Black Dahlia Murder. Date: January 15th, 1947. Location: Los Angeles, California. Elizabeth Short, a 22-year-old aspiring actress, was found brutally murdered in Los Angeles in 1947.
Her body was discovered in a vacant lot, cut in half and drained of blood.
The gruesome crime immediately caught the attention of the media, which dubbed Short the Black Dahlia due to her striking dark hair and penchant for wearing black clothing. The public was horrified by the mutilation and precision of the crime. Despite a massive investigation and numerous suspects, the identity of the killer remains unknown. Over the years, various theories have been proposed, with some investigators suggesting that the crime was the work of a sadistic doctor or a serial killer.
Others believe it was a mob-related hit. The lack of evidence and conflicting accounts make it one of Hollywood's most infamous unsolved murders.
The Black Dahlia's murder has become a part of American crime lore, inspiring books, movies, and endless speculation, but the truth behind the brutal slaying remains elusive. 5. The vanishing of Flight MH370. Date: March 8, 2014. Location: Indian Ocean. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 disappeared without a trace while en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. The Boeing 777 vanished from radar just an hour after takeoff, carrying 239 passengers and crew members. What followed was one of the most extensive and expensive search efforts in aviation history, spanning thousands of miles of ocean, but the plane's main wreckage was never found.
A few pieces of debris believed to be from MH370 have washed up on remote islands, but the mystery of what caused the plane to vanish remains unsolved.
Theories range from mechanical failure and pilot suicide to more sinister explanations involving hijacking or deliberate sabotage.
Despite years of investigation, the disappearance of MH370 is one of aviation's greatest mysteries, leaving the families of those on board with no answers and the world with an unsettling enigma. 6. The Sodder Children disappearance incident. December 24th, 1945 location, Fayetteville, West Virginia. Using Christmas Eve 1945. The Sodder family's home caught fire, and 5 of their 10 children seemingly perished in the blaze.
However, no remains were ever found, despite the fire department thoroughly searching the wreckage. The parents, George and Ginny Sodder, became convinced that their children had not died in the fire but had been abducted. Over the years, the Sodders received strange letters, photos, and tips suggesting that their missing children were still alive.
They even erected a billboard along a highway, offering a reward for information leading to their whereabouts. Despite this, no credible leads ever materialized, and the fate of the Sodder children remains an unsolved mystery. The case has spawned numerous theories, including kidnapping, mafia involvement, and arson, but none have provided a definitive answer. 7.
The Isdal Woman date, November 29th, 1970 location, Bergen, Norway in 1970. The body of an unidentified woman was found in a remote part of Isdal Valley, near Bergen, Norway. The woman's body was badly burned, and surrounding her were various objects that only deepen the mystery, including bottles of gasoline and several fake passports. All identifying labels on her clothing had been removed, and her fingerprints had been intentionally erased.
The investigation into the woman's death revealed that she had been staying in multiple hotels under false names, and was seen by witnesses acting suspiciously in the days leading up to her death. Despite efforts to trace her identity, the woman has never been identified, and the cause of her death remains unknown.
Some theorize that the Isdal woman was a spy, while others believe she may have been involved in organized crime. The mystery surrounding her death, combined with the strange details of her life, make it one of Europe's most unsettling unsolved cases. 8. The Zodiac Killer date, 1968-1969 location, California. USA. Zodiac Killer is one of America's most infamous serial killers, having claimed at least 5 victims in the San Francisco Bay Area during the late 1960s. What makes this case so chilling is the way the killer taunted police and the media, sending cryptic letters, ciphers, and clues that have puzzled investigators for decades. Despite numerous investigations and even modern attempts to solve the case using DNA technology, the true identity of the Zodiac Killer remains unknown. The killer's ciphers have never been fully decoded, leaving many to wonder if they hold the key to solving the case.
Various suspects have been named over the years, but none have ever been definitively linked to the crimes.
The Zodiac's eerie ability to evade capture, combined with the cryptic nature of his communications, continues to make this one of the most frightening unsolved mysteries in American history. 9. The disappearance of Madeleine McCann date, May 3rd to 07 location, Praia Luz, Portugal. Madeleine McCann, a 3-year-old British girl, disappeared from her family's holiday apartment in Praia Luz, Portugal, while her parents dined at a nearby restaurant. Despite a massive international search effort and intense media coverage, Madeleine's whereabouts remain unknown.
The case has generated countless theories, from abduction by human traffickers to an accidental death that was covered up.
Several people have been questioned, including her parents, but no solid evidence has ever emerged. In 2020, German authorities named a convicted sex offender as a prime suspect, but the case is still open. The disappearance of Madeleine McCann remains one of the most well-known and disturbing child abduction cases in recent history. 10. The Tamim Shud case. Somerton Man date, December 1st, 1948 location, Somerton Beach, Adelaide, Australia. The body of an unidentified man was found on Somerton Beach in Adelaide, Australia, in 1948. The man had no identification, and all labels were removed from his clothing.
His cause of death remains a mystery, as no signs of foul play were detected.
What made the case even more bizarre was a tiny piece of paper found in his pocket with the words Tamam shud, meaning ended or finished in Persian.
The phrase was traced back to a rare book of poetry, but the connection between the book and the man has never been fully understood.
The Tamam shud case has sparked numerous theories, including espionage, suicide, and murder, but none have provided a definitive answer.
Despite several investigations and a renewed interest in the case in recent years, the identity of the Somerton Man and the circumstances surrounding his death remain one of Australia's most enduring unsolved mysteries. These 10 cases represent just a fraction of the unsolved mysteries that continue to perplex investigators around the world. From mysterious disappearances to gruesome murders, these cases remind us that some puzzles may never be solved, leaving us to wonder what really happened and why the truth remains elusive. Whether due to lack of evidence, lost leads, or simply the passing of time, these chilling stories will